What is enduring and non-enduring spiritual awakening? People realize spiritual awakening in two ways. The one is a rare event when the person is fully enlightened, is fully realized. We can call it enduring awakening or enlightenment. For example, like Ramana Maharshi, many other spiritual sages were graced with enlightenment. And the other is a gradual process that most of us need to go through, accompanied by the dark night of the soul. We can call it a non-enduring awakening. In a non-enduring awakening, as the mind conditioning is not completely dissolved, it pulls us in an unconscious state frequently. Everywhere our attention goes, it pulls us. And that's why the journey from non-enduring awakening to enduring awakening takes time. Sometimes people claim to have tremendous realizations of their inner being, but then feel as if they have forgotten in the following day, the next week, the next month, or the next year. They've lost that inner peace. They feel like that. Actually, nothing is wrong with you. You realized awakening, and it is a non-enduring awakening. You have seen the truth and felt your being in those fleeting awakening moments. And I promise you also that you have transcended duality such as good and evil in those times, yes? You transcended negative and positive, dark and light, spirituality and materialism. Yes, you did. But again you lost that. You just need to retain your mind in being and abide and rest in your being. Meaning, while doing your worldly duties, let 80% of attention within you. Let 80% of awareness be inside your being. While not doing your worldly duties, retain 100% of attention inside you. And that means living in the present moment. Once you realize your being like that, the source of life will take over your mind-body instrument. Everything will get done in your outer world, and nothing will be left undone. Lose the control. Give the control to the being. Resting in being like that is realizing the ultimate truth that you are. Already, you are that truth. Jesus said, "Be still and know that I am God." And in this way, by realizing being, you can transform your pain and suffering into inner peace. See, whether you have been graced with an enduring awakening, that is enlightenment, or non-enduring awakening, depends upon your karmic load. People with enduring awakening have a very light karmic load. Even though they may have experienced extreme suffering before awakening, one can see that their karmic inheritance, the conditioning they were dealing with, wasn't too heavy. Now, only a few people in a given generation may have an enduring awakening or enlightenment. They have no further process to undergo. They just realize their being in one night, one day, 1 hour. It does no good to regret your karma, whether you think you are carrying a lot of karma or not. What matters is what your actions are going to be going forward. Now it is what it is. Your karma is what it is. What you can do. Your karmic load actually doesn't have much to do with whether we can awaken, but it may have something to do with what happens right after that moment of awakening. Meaning how you handle your karma, how you deal with your karma. The majority of people who experience non-enduring awakening will at some point find their non-awakening state and conditioning arising again. Yes, you find that, right? Though awakening removes a tremendous amount of conditioning and dark states, everybody is different about how much is removed from the system. For some people, less conditioning gets removed. For others, it will be more. Now, why awakening affects one person conditioning one way and another person conditioning in another way? Now, that is related to their allocated karma. As a metaphor, we can think of the egoic state as the magnet. The egoic state has a magnetic force. It has a tendency to pull us out from the awareness. This magnetic force is really what one is dealing with throughout the spiritual journey. That's why we oscillate between awakening and non-awakening state. Though the mind's conditional pattern is dying during awakening, it makes you feel miserable by re-identifying yourself with its old dysfunctional pattern. You already learned that. Now this gives rise to the I got it, I lost it. I got it, I lost it phenomenon. I got the awakening, I lost the awakening phenomenon. As you had noticed it, before we awaken, we either believe the thought or not. Meaning we either believe some thought or not. It was one or the other. But a sudden shift of perspective due to awakening can make things very bizarre. After awakening, we can both believe and not believe a thought simultaneously. Like, okay, I'm believing and I'm not believing. Or act in a way that contradicts the truth we have experienced with our own being. One side is mind, another side is being. We are acting from mind, we are acting from being. We feel so depressed because of this inner confusion that stems from something unknown to us. Now, people also have an unconscious idea that spiritual awakening means they should feel total bliss. Whoa, you. And freedom from the negative states of mind all the time. It's the misperception. It is true that after awakening, the outer circumstances of life and behavior from people no longer make us suffer. It is true. But this is also true to say that when we wake up, we begin to realize the patterns in our life that go against what we have realized in our awakening moments. Now you can see those dysfunctional patterns, less optimal patterns, like less optimal emotions, anger, envy, jealousy, etc. You can clearly see those. You can clearly observe that. Hence, after awakening, you feel more miserable, thinking that you are going backward because you are now very sensitive towards those anger and you can see it very clearly. But it is not so. You are evolving. You are awakening. You need to deeply understand that enlightenment is about more than just being happy and blissful. It's not only about being happy and blissful. This understanding takes the pressure of those aspects of your life that are more human and imperfect. Now, I'm not saying that awakening has to be difficult. I'm not saying that. Not at all. Even that is an illusion that awakening is difficult. Awakening itself need not to be difficult, but the transition from non-enduring awakening to enduring awakening require us to detach all our identification with dream state. In fact, we have to willing to lose our whole world. Now, after an awakening, most people see the world differently and their old career, relationship, purpose or habits fall away. Awakening calls for a transformation of both our inner and outer lives. This transformation is not about having a perfect life, perfect job, perfect mate, perfect marriage. It's about seeing beyond the illusions of our dream state. Dream meaning thinking state, continuously thinking state that we call dream state. To achieve perfection is impossible. We can have wholeness, where things are as they are, not perfection. We can achieve wholeness, but not perfection. For most people, the path of awakening has wonderful, profound moments and realizations. But you don't expect and attach to them. Don't run behind the experience, please. The authentic intention toward enlightenment is that internal prayer. You pray like this, asking for whatever will bring us to full awakening. Just that is your prayer. No matter whether it turns out to be wonderful or terrible. God, intensify my awakening. Let me be with you. Let me merge with you. I would say most people realize their greatest transformation during difficult times. Many people refuse to admit that our most significant challenges, suffering and agony are gifts of fear's grace. Fear's grace is suffering. They are powerful and crucial components of our awakening if we are ready for them. Are you ready for suffering? Are you? We can see and receive the gifts they have to offer if we are willing to turn and face them, even though the gifts sometimes feel forced upon us. We feel that this gift has forced upon us. This fear's grace, this suffering. Who wants suffering? Whether it's an illness, the death of a loved one, divorce, addiction, or employment troubles, it's critical to accept and allow our circumstances to see the inherent blessings available in them. Again, to completely transform your pain and suffering into inner peace, you need to accept and allow the present moment. Retain your mind in your being. Retain your mind in your being. Spiritually, it is called resting your mind into being. Surrender your mind to being. Your mind will lose all its conditioning and transform into being, giving you a sense of inner peace.